We are willing to sacrifice sustainability, even environmental impacts for the sake of saving money. And to be fair, things are getting more expensive, right? And that's like, I was talking to my wife about this week and I was like, I don't want to sound like the old man, but I'm becoming an old man, right? I am an old man. All right. I'm getting there. I get it. I'm halfway there, if not, most
Speak
of the
for
way there.
yourself, Dustin.
Yeah, well, I am speaking for myself. Things are exponentially more expensive than they were even 5 years ago. You already talked back in,
Yeah.
2015, how the farmers, the John Deere tractors are now like twice as expensive as they were. That's quite that's quite a jump. It's quite a jump in inflation. For like inflation to be more than 3% a year is quite a jump in inflation, right? We're talking about 100% over the course of what 10 years. Like that's should not be where it's at, right? It should be at 30%, if that. And so we're willing to sacrifice, yes, certain things that we weren't willing to sacrifice before. The really weird part, though, is that this is we're going through this phase of what I've heard called hyper normalization, just normalization of concepts to the younger generation. So younger generation, like, yeah, they're not even going to have a sense of like
What it
ownership of
was.
a specific thing, right? And you've talked about this with cars, Frank, how like cars are eventually going to be a subscription, and
Yeah.
and I
I
was like,
hate it.
as long as it drives you for it, I don't care. Like that's something I am willing to give up. But I do have people in my life who are like, they have, a Tesla or they have a Ford and they have Blue Cruise and they're like, I don't like it when cars drive for me. I do not like
No, I like it when it drives for me, but like if we have complete loss of ownership of our vehicles, that's the part where I think that might just be the because I am not confident in a Lyft or Uber driver showing up on time. How am I going to be confident
right
on my autonomous
on your AI
subscription
car.
rented vehicle showing up at the right time? God forbid, like I have a heart attack or something. And, since, ambulances cost like a couple grand just to come and tell you you're dead. No, thanks. I'll have my body driven to the hospital for that service, right? If I can get a car, right? So that's where I think that that's an example of a line being crossed. But that's definitely where I think some companies want to go.
Well, I think that's where we're headed unless we stop it, unless we come up with some kind of legislation or we
Law.
vote for, for this. So, companies coming out with these products, if we stop buying them and stop using them, they'll do other things, right? And we see this with farmers too, like farmers who, 20 years ago would have been like, I'm not doing anything organically. This is the best way to do things and I'm going to continue using these chemicals. And now they're like, we're going to switch to organics
Yeah.
because that's what people
Whoops.
are buying, right? We've kind of
Yeah.
seen a little bit of this shift happening. Not so much anymore because again, now everything's just more expensive, and it's like, okay, if we need to save a couple bucks on eggs that are not cage-free chickens, then fine.
Yeah, every time I go to Whole Foods, it's like twice the price and half the food. It
Yes,
sucks.
right. But here's the thing though is now we're almost in this. I don't want to say too big to fail, but something along those lines where we're kind of in this. The next generation coming up is already used to this, so like they're like, oh nope, this is just life now. I will not own a
Oof.